Hey guys, it's Ivan here. Today, this video is gonna be a little bit different because I have always wanted to do this series called like therapeutic skincare or skincare therapy, and I just never had the, guts to do it because I don't know, I feel like it would be really vulnerable more than I already am on camera. I kind of was afraid of judgment and just criticism in general, but I realized that it's okay and I want to be more transparent and vulnerable with you guys and talk about current issues that bother me, because if you are on my Instagram, if you see my stories, I do have opinions about things, but somehow when it comes to videos, when I put the camera in front of me, sometimes it's hard to like articulate what I want to say. But I think I'm just gonna take the leap and go ahead and say it. You know, as usual, I want you guys to remember that this is a safe space and conversation is always encouraged, just no hateful speech or anything like that. And today I really wanted to just talk about, COVID-19 and the coronavirus and how it's been affecting me and people around me, I guess. And I'm just gonna put skincare. I just washed my face with the Muji cleansing oil, and I'm just gonna like talk about skincare a little bit too because I want it to be sort of informational and just a space where you guys can chill. And these videos are generally gonna be pretty chill, so if you guys even wanna put it on while you're falling asleep, I wouldn't be offended at that at all. I would actually be quite flattered because right now I've been listening to guided meditation to fall asleep, especially ones with releasing trauma and just healing my past and stuff like that. And it's been really helpful in terms of releasing all that pent-up negativity that I have for myself that I don't really want to deal with. You know, coming from an Asian family, it is hard to talk about more difficult things, but I really want to just talk about it. So I'm just gonna spray my face with this Cream Skin by Laneige. I'm gonna do it a couple times since I feel like this is gonna be quite a long chat. And this is a very moisturizing toner. So regarding COVID-19, I think in Los Angeles right now, people are just starting to, I guess hysteria would be a word. People are freaking out. They're lining up. I'm sure most of you guys know about the coronavirus. The reason why it's called the coronavirus is because the structure looks like a crown, and initially it affected most of China and South Korea. Got hit pretty bad because of one patient that was in a closed location with a lot of people. It was I think it was a cultist church. I'm not entirely sure. And now it's in Italy, and Italy is in shutdown as well. You know, I think a couple weeks ago people were like making fun of it, not really taking it seriously. Here I see all the jokes on, like there are all the racist comments on Instagram and TikTok about just Asian people and particularly Chinese people as well. And even when it spread to Korea, I mean, nobody really took it that seriously, even though it was like, I mean, at that point, it's sort of like, you know, it's gonna spread to other places. And initially, a lot of people were just brushing it off, saying like, oh, the flu kills more people every year or something like that. It's like, yes, it does, but that doesn't mean this one doesn't kill people also. So I don't get that logic and that kind of argument that just because something is worse doesn't mean this is also bad. I just don't understand that, so I never like use that logic. Also, I think with hoarding, everybody's hoarding toilet paper, hand sanitizer. Somebody even bought like 17,000 pieces of hand sanitizer and they have nowhere to sell it now because Amazon is cracking down those prices, which they should, because that's kind of illegal and just selfish in general. Like I can't, like, you know, like in times of need like this is when you really see people's true colors regarding certain issues. I'm going with the eye gel by Biossance to like deep puff. You really see people's you know, true colors, and it's kind of unfortunate. And the thing with America is that I've noticed that it's this is not good or bad, this is just an observation. America and a lot of Western countries are very individualistic in terms of like caring about your neighbors. They say you care about your neighbors, but actually like places in Asia, like especially Japan, it's more like collectivist, where you sort of see yourself as like a hive mentality, like a whole. There's good and bad in both of these cultures, obviously, because in an individualist culture you can feel like you can express yourself more and have more freedom in terms of like autonomy. But when you're in a collectivist culture in Asia, yes, in times of crisis there's like less looting and less hoarding for like selfishness, but it's also hard to deviate from, you know, society if you're a little bit different. So there's good and bad, and I'm not saying that, you know, there's one way to be a culture, obviously not, but I'm quite disappointed just to see all the news and everything here with the racism against just Asians in general, not just just Asians. And it kind of like makes me upset and it scares me. Not because I can't deal with it as a young adult, but when when that video of the older Asian uncle was being beaten and chased, my heart just sank, I guess. And it's like they've gone through so much just to survive, and to be dealt with that is very heartbreaking. And also to be dealt with that via another minority, it's extra heartbreaking to me. And it really just draws parallels to the LA riots in 1992, where if you guys don't know what the LA riots is, I don't know it completely, but I urge you to read it a little bit. It's basically, it happened through police brutality and racial profiling, and a guy named Rodney King was beaten by 5 white police officers, and that sparked like an entire riot, and it just raged through LA. And Koreatown was affected as well, where a lot of Korean American or just Korean store owners, like racial tensions were high with their black customers. And I think it not ended, but eventually led to a lot of looting, a lot of stealing, destruction of really old stores that people have worked so hard for. And I think a Korean woman shot a young black girl because she thought she was stealing. So, right now too, I feel like tensions are quite high, and it kind of draws parallels to that. And if you don't know history, then history is bound to repeat itself. I don't know what the fix is, other than just like raising awareness that nobody is the enemy here, where we should all just pull together and help each other. So hoarding more than like 3-4 pieces yourself and allowing the elderly or anybody that couldn't get a shift off to get resources is quite selfish. And it is just selfish. I rather starve with other people than have everything in my castle alone. And I speak from like privilege because I can work from home and film for you guys, but I recognize that it is a privilege, and for a lot of people that are working out there and having to deliver stuff, drive Ubers, just having to work in person, might not have the same time and luxuries off as certain people to be able to buy stuff. So if you know of any friends around you that need toilet paper or need like hand sanitizer help, like thankfully my friends were very sweet in dropping off hand sanitizer. Thank you, Gary and Deborah. But in general, like a lot of people don't have the luxury to. So if you have hoarded a lot and your friends don't have any, or just anyone you know doesn't have any, I would urge you to maybe give them some. So with this whole social distancing thing, I think this is what they have been saying the course of action is. We should social distance ourselves, because if we can, obviously. A lot of companies are urging people to work from home. I know not everyone has that privilege, but I think the general rule is just to stay 1 meter away from people. I'm trying not to go to any events and not going out, even to the gym. I actually busted out my workout, so if you want to see my home workout, leave it down below. I will do a whole video. I bought dip bars where I can do dips and reverse rows and just V-sits so I can work on my core, and just yoga. And I think it's a shock for me because I've never done yoga, but I think I need to for my flexibility and scoliosis. So actually for me, this is like, it sucks to say, but you got to make the best out of a bad situation. And mentally, with all the hysteria and fear on social media, it's good to just stay calm and know the facts. You should know the facts, you should read up on it, but not let it affect you in a way that lets you act irrationally, which is hoarding tons and tons of things in your garage, especially not 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer in because you want to sell it. Like, that's just selfish, I think, and despicable, and it should be illegal. Honestly, it should be. But now stores are telling people to there's a cutoff limit for how many people can buy. I've been just like at home and eating better, trying to take care of my mind, my body, cleaning up the house more. I was kind of bummed that I couldn't go out to gym, meet my friends, and vlog and stuff, because this year I really wanted to get out of my comfort zone. But sometimes the universe has other things planned for you, and that's okay with me. You just have to adapt. And I've learned that, I think in this couple months I learned that, because I got really sick in Malaysia too, and it really sucked, and I was scared. And I don't know, I feel like people didn't care about Asians until it hit the Western countries like Italy, and then all of a sudden like, oh, now it's a real pandemic because it's hitting white people, And this is not a dig against white people, like I love white people, but if you are able to see how this affects minorities, that's we need allies, and we need people to speak up for us sometimes. Like there was this one video where There was a tweet that said like, you know, I'm sure as hell people are not gonna avoid pizza, even though it hit Italy, but people sure as hell weren't supporting like Korean or Chinese businesses. People didn't even go to the Asian mall, that's why the stuff is still there. But I've been taking some time to journal and, you know, go inward and trying to spread love in this time of need and not hate or blame, because at this point, what's the point of blaming anybody? It's already happened. Let's just try to contain it as much as we can. And there's a bunch of graphs that I will link on Instagram to show the difference between not social distancing, so forced distancing, and I think just distancing in general, because you might not get sick like you watching this, but somebody with a compromised immune system, somebody older, or somebody that is homeless or don't have the resources to go see a doctor if they are sick might be in a bad situation. So it's not just us that we're thinking about, right? We're thinking about people that can't get help. So just try your best to stay away from crowded places and wash your hands. People are like going crazy over hand sanitizer. Yes, hand sanitizer works, but so does hand soap. Saw this study that 61 of men don't wash their hands after using the bathroom and stuff. I'm like, what? Like, that's insane to me. Men are gross. Men, we are disgusting. I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean. Men are just disgusting. Sorry. Yeah, so wash your hands and don't touch your face too much. That's all you can do, and like distance yourself socially. There's no need for blame, hate, any kind of hate speeches, because it really doesn't do anything for anyone. Let's just all try to help each other and spread kindness. I've also been journaling a lot, I guess, about my life and where I've been, and initially I wanted to start out a skin therapy video with sort of like loving yourself type of chat, but I feel like it was dire to address this. So try to meditate, try to journal if you have time. Help out your mom at home, or if you have cats, like give it some love. I've been like giving my cat love, and actually enjoy your solitude in your mind and see how restless you are. Actually, I am restless. Like the first couple days I was like, I want to go out, I want to go to the gym, I want to buy stuff, I want to like meet people, I want to like move around. But now it's like, yeah, I like listening to music on my own. Actually, I like looking at my plants and bringing them in and out when it's raining. Just been like catching up on my playlist and my TV. Finished Love is Blind. I know a lot of people don't like Jessica, but I identify with Jessica a lot, especially when she was like holding the wine everywhere. It's like, yes, that's me. I think Amber is kind of like a lot, but she's so funny. I think Barnett is like, he's not ready for what's coming with Amber, I think. And the whole Carlton and Diamond situation, a mess, we'll say. I think they both were wrong to talk to each other that way, but I think Carlton was more in the wrong, because she did not, like, Diamond did not attack Carlton for his sexuality at all. If you watch it back, like, she just was really patient, and he honestly treated her really badly, I think, and was projecting his insecurities onto her and kind of like gaslighting her. So I didn't like that at all. You know, when it comes to like internalized homophobia in general, like, I think black men, I can't speak for them, but I think they have, like, this culture is very macho and very Christian as well, so it might be hard for him to deal with it internally. But to call her like those names and stuff was unnecessary. Then he attacked her looks, like her wig, and called her typical and all that. I was just like, wow, that's like what you go to when you're cornered. It really shows who you are as a person. But eventually in the reunion he apologized to her, which is good, because that's what we need, like more love, you know. But yeah, in any case, it kind of shows you what happens when you have so much pent-up feelings, positive or negative, about your sexuality and who you are, that when push comes to shove, it comes out in a certain way. Your body carries that stress, you know, your body carries it. It keeps note, and when it hits, you're just like release, and you might say things or do things that aren't in your character, like you would never do. It is important in terms of like learning from that. It's like important to understand your feelings, journal them, and so when somebody says something that potentially might be triggering to you, you can respond instead of react, you know. So that was my take on that. I kind of enjoyed the show. It was really interesting. I mean, I don't like, it's not a show where you're gonna learn a lot from it, but I just wanted to share what I was watching too, you know. Lauren is the cutest one, honestly. I think she is pretty cool, and I don't know, I think they're such a cute couple. I forgot the guy's name, honestly, because he's so vanilla, like a robot, but he seems sweet. But Lauren is like a 10 in a sea of like 7s and 8s. If we're just talking about in general, like character wise, you know what I'm saying? I've also started watching Kingdom, which is probably not a good idea because the whole COVID-19 coronavirus thing, it's kind of like mimicking that. I'm like, ooh, is this gonna mutate and become zombies? If it is, like, I'm ready. I'm not ready. I'm just gonna lie down and take it because I cannot. I'm not gonna run and do cardio. Even like seeing zombies, my heart rate would probably go up, and it's like, that's enough cardio for me for today. Thank you very much, guys. Just kidding, I like doing cardio. I'm trying. I also wanted to let you guys know I have asthma. So, you know, working out and stuff, like keeping my body healthy like that is very important to me, and you know, my lung capacity. I want to challenge myself this year and do more. I haven't been doing cardio that much because I've always been worried that I might drop down dead. But this year I want to try slowly. Like I've been like incorporating a little more cardio, and it's been working. I think it's better. I feel stronger and I can breathe more. I realized things that trigger my asthma are like anxiety, past trauma that people bring up, like dropping out of school and stuff, and my sexuality. So I've been learning to understand that and have my body, like, it's hard at first, but my body slowly is getting used to the reaction, so I don't get like as much, so I can like understand, okay, the reaction is happening, and I can like maybe try to use my mind to calm myself down. Obviously, you know, it's hard, but that's something I want to work on this year. But yeah, I think in general, I just wanted to come on here to tell you guys that to take precaution, don't go crazy with all the hysteria and just like stocking up on everything. Be considerate, be a good person, try to enjoy your own time or your family's time. I know it might be hard for some, but you know, you got to learn to accept it and then make the best of it. So take time to journal, draw, listen to music, whatever you want, work out, try something you haven't done before, paint maybe. I will do my routine, maybe my daily at-home routine, learn to cook maybe, I don't know. It's a good time to do all those things if you're fortunate enough to, and if you're watching this on Wi-Fi, you probably are. So, you know, there's always an upside to every downside, and I truly believe that. I mean, I've been through a lot of, you guys have seen I've been through so many ups and downs in my life, and I think this time really I want to just embrace the positivity that I have in my life, and being grateful that I have a home, being grateful I have a cat for companionship, being grateful that I have friends that are safe during this time, being grateful that my family isn't affected right now, and just praying, you know, like just being grateful for everything. Just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. Take care of yourself, really. I get so many DMs from you guys when I post about racist attacks against Asians, or just people in general, that you guys are actively telling your family or your friends or things you see online to either share it or stop them from like kind of like telling them that it's not right. So I'm really proud of you, and I really love you, and I appreciate that, because, and that's not something you do for me, that's something you do for, like, you know, just the greater society in general, because I think we do have a civic duty, and this is a word that I've never used before, like our social responsibility, our civic duty to be good citizens. I truly believe that us watching us together, we are all great people here, and we're just trying our best. So I see you, I love you, thank you so much. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves, okay?